Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to the voice of the times. This Sunday, November 14, 2021. For today's editorial, banning books ineffective and boosts subversives allure. The authorities should reconsider the removal of so-called subversive books from state university libraries. This action is likely to result in the very thing that they hope to avoid, which is to make those books more popular among young Filipinos. Our objection is premised on the paradoxical appeal of the forbidden fruit. In other words, prohibiting certain books makes them mysterious and entices more people to read them. In justifying the ban, the president of Isabela State University, or ISU, Rick Aquino, said in a government press release, ISU supports the government program's whole-of-nation approach. ISU, as an academic institution, has its mandate to protect the Filipino youth and ensure their future by providing them quality and relevant education. Our students should not therefore be exposed to anything that will destroy their future. The statement adds that books were pulled out from the libraries of the 11 ISU campuses, as well as from Kalinga State University. The confiscated books were turned over to the regional office of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, or NTF-LCAC. Actually, we sympathize with the task force, but this strategy is poorly crafted and likely counterproductive. The statement mentions that the books confiscated were National Democratic Front, or NDF handouts, and based on other press reports, also included works written by Jose Maria Sison, the founder of the Communist Party of the Philippines, or CPP, and its armed wing, the New People's Army, or NPA. The NDF, CPP, and NPA are terrorist organizations, not just according to the Philippines, but also to many other countries. Still, do state university executives and NTF-LCAC officials believe that students cannot find all sorts of subversive content elsewhere on the internet? These officials should not be naive. The better strategy is to encourage young people to read more books, regardless of their content. Our collective approach as a country should be to encourage everyone, particularly young Filipinos, to read. The best defense against terrorism and radicalism is to build armies of individuals capable of independent thought and critical thinking. In contrast, empty minds can be easily filled with lies and propaganda that are disguised as knowledge. The better strategy is not to shield people from subversive ideas, but to help them see the truth. Instead of pulling out books, the authorities should fill libraries with more reading materials. Let people read about communism, including books about the atrocities committed by communist dictators. More should understand the collapse of communism and the liberation of Eastern Europe from the Soviets' Iron Curtain. Also, young readers should be exposed to books on how communist countries, like China, actually desire democratic values, and how a past regime there tried suppressing it during the Cultural Revolution that killed some 20 million Chinese. Communists elsewhere also have their own horror stories to tell. Harmful cuts. Despite the poor strategy making, Congress should not slash NTF-LCAC's 2022 budget. It has many other worthy projects, including the Barangay or Village Development Program that allocates 20 million pesos to a village for roads, health facilities, and school buildings, and for funding livelihood projects. There are 822 villages in that program that might suffer. And if its budget can be restored, the task force should invest in buying books for young people. The NTF-LCAC should not worry about students reading Karl Marx, who later in life and in frustration with French communists said he himself would not want to be a Marxist. More should read the works of other economists and world philosophers, including Thorsten Veblen, who provides a better analysis of the relationship dynamics among social classes. Clearly, it is easy to compile a recommended reading list, but the point is to encourage Filipinos to read so that they can broaden their views of the world. This helps fortify every citizen against manipulation by groups with vested interests. As others have also said, book bans and other means of censorship harm the democratic values that state universities and NTF-LCAC are hoping to protect. They likely mean well, but to paraphrase an aphorism, the road to perdition is sometimes paved with good intentions. And that's editorial for Sunday, November 14, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to the Voice of the Times.